have the microphone in my hand because it's not clipped to me yet. Today was so interesting. So you guys know I do Uber Eats, and I don't know if you guys have like extra side jobs, extra gigs, and you feel some type of way about it. I don't know. I'm not trying to be funny. I really want to encourage you to first get a hold of your finances and live within your means. Don't spend money. If you get clothes, get them from Goodwill, or even before you go to Goodwill, ask your friends and family if you need like black pants for your job. Ask your friends and family first if they have a pair of black pants that you can have. And then if they don't, go to Goodwill. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look right. You just got to kind of like stay focused, you know? So first, don't spend money if you don't have to. If you do have to spend money on groceries, and granted, this is for like single or people with no dependents. If you have dependents, you could take this advice, but of course there's nuance to it. But don't spend money. If find out where your food banks are and go to them, shop exclusively at your food bank. Otherwise, only buy whole foods so your body is staying healthy and energized. Get away from this like pasta and stuff like this unless it's free. You could be a freegan and go ahead and eat. What else? Gas. I know people are really into their cars. If you can walk it, walk it. If you could take the bus, here in my town, the bus is free. Go take the bus instead. And the thing is, like, I know this is less desirable. As a social worker, I was helping somebody find housing, and this woman didn't have all her kids because she didn't have a place to live. And the only thing from keeping her from getting her other children back was having a place. But she also didn't make a lot of money. She made like $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month or whatever the case. And I know this is a super unpopular, but I was like, listen, you go down to this apartment building. No, I live in, hi, Carlos. Carlos says you live in Idaho. No, I live in Montana. I say you go to this apartment building. The studios are $600 a month. You can get all your kids back. You have free daycare. You have free this, that, and the other. It's going to suck, right? But from there, we can help you like find a job that works within your kids' daycare schedule. And she didn't want to do that. And so many of us don't want to do that. Anyway, I was just reminded of it today while I was doing Uber Eats. When I do Uber Eats, I'm feeling myself. I'm like, there's $100 right there. And then I read while I'm waiting, or I give myself little assignments to do during the time that I'm driving. Like today was just creating my 6-month and 12-month goals while I'm driving. No music, no anything. And so anyway, I was at Albertsons, and the guy must have been like 22 years old or whatever. And I was like, how are you doing? And he was like, I want to go home. And he looked so miserable, and I felt so bad for him. I said, what do you want to do with your life? He wants to be a cosmetologist. And the last thing I said to him was like, I mean, get on it. You hate your job. Get whatever you need to do. Like, do that. And he wasn't trying to hear that. I had to pick up something from Subway, and the people there looked just like, they were like, the cashier was literally like sighing out of like, like, I don't want to be here. And so that's one side. And then on the other side, I pulled up to the store today to get my own little avocados and tea and whatever. And outside were a bunch of little girls and their moms. And a girl boldly walks right up to me. Bam, you want to buy some raffle tickets for what? I say, well, we're in the blah, blah, blah. We're in the Grizz cheerleading team and da, 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 da. I was like, what do I get? She was like, boom, shaka and laka. This is what you get. I said, I don't have, I said, I only have a card. And she was like, I have Venmo. And I was like, I don't have my work phone. I only have this card. The girl says you could get cash inside. This girl must have been like 9 or 10 years old. And I was like, I always support children positive things. I'm a social worker. And one thing I know, when you don't support these kids now, they're breaking into your car later. Or whatever, they're pregnant or doing whatever they're doing. Support the kids now while they're doing something. I said, boom, I'll take 2. Got me. I don't even care. I don't even know where I put the raffle tickets. It doesn't even matter. I don't even, whatever she was talking about. And it was just the contrast between somebody with hope and somebody without hope. And I don't know how you get hope. I wish there was a way I could, we're in Proverbs today and we're talking about wisdom that the Lord gives us. And I'm not sure I have the answer for what it looks like to generate your own level of hope. But it's like the 20-year-olds I saw today were just like done with life. And then the little 10-year-old was like still on it. And it's true. How do we reach the 10 to 20, the 10-year mark between 10 years old and 20 years old when these kids, I don't know what's going on. But I just wanted to encourage you guys today, wherever you might be, whatever might be going on in your life, it might suck. It really might be a terrible thing. And it really might be a terrible thing for a year or two, but it might forever be a terrible thing if you don't come up with a plan. You gotta, hi, Stephen. I'm just trying to talk to the people. Whenever I start talking about doing better for yourself, nobody wants to hear it. And that's wild to me. So let me just get back on. Let me just get back on track. All right. We are in Proverbs 27. We're nearing the end here. We're going through the chapter of Proverbs that corresponds with, see you, Stephen. We're with the chapter of Proverbs that corresponds with the day that it is. Today is the 27th. We're going to be going through Proverbs 27. I am ThreePlusKei. I am just an honest Christian here to encourage you to pursue the smile by prioritizing the Lord, your physical health, and persistent education. This space right here is called the Secret Heart Club. I actually don't have my bell, and my ukulele is out of tune. So we'll just snap. All right. Welcome to the Secret Heart Club, everyone. Does a part to bring love, be loved. Hey, we love Jesus at the Secret Heart Club. Boom. Stephen says, I'm just playing host. I'd love to spend some time with you. Come on. That's okay. Do your thing, Stephen. All right, we're going to jump right into this thing. Proverbs 27. I've already talked for quite a bit of time. I'm going to go through Proverbs 27 and read the commentary as we go along. All right, here we go. Proverbs 27, verse 1. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. I remember I was at church and I had said something about my plans. Oh, I'm going to do this next week or whatever the case was. And it was an and he said, God willing, he said, always say God willing for what you think you're about to go do, because tomorrow is not promised. And, I think tomorrow not promised, that hits more for me in relation to like the relationships that I have than the things I want to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to, like my daughter, I meant all day to text her that I love her. And for some reason I didn't. So I'll make sure I do that. But you don't know when it's the last time you're going to see somebody. And I just know it like I know it at this point. And so if you really love somebody, you really do, like, you need to say it and show it. You need to say it and show it. You don't know if you have tomorrow. And then if you don't have tomorrow and they pass away, then you're falling out crying for what reason? You had all this time. Don't cry now. You had all this time to tell them and show them that you love them. Just saying. Stephen says, boast ye not of the morrow, for the morrow bring ye know not. Bada boom, bada bang. Straight like that. Verse 2. Let someone else praise you and not your own mouth, an outsider and not your own lips. That reminds me of yesterday. I had made banana bread, homemade banana bread, for Afton, my friend Afton's family, and homemade icing. But the boys, her sons, left before I could give them any. And then everybody else had some too. So anyway, I thought, well, I'll just make them a fresh one some other time, and started sharing it with the customers. And this girl was like, I thought the banana bread was fantastic, but I gave a customer some of my banana bread, and she just went on and on and on and on about it. And then her boyfriend came up and he went on about it. It made me feel so good. It made me feel so good. But yeah, let someone else praise you and not your own mouth, an outsider and not your own lips. Verse 3, stone is heavy and sand a burden, but a fool's provocation is heavier than both. Anger is cruel and fury overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Better is open rebuke than hidden love. I would rather know. I would rather know, maybe not the rebuke part. Like, I don't like people don't just sit up here and criticize me. I don't know if I take criticism like that well like that. You got to sugarcoat things with me for sure. Like, if I care enough about your opinion, if I don't care about your opinion, you whatever, it doesn't matter what you have to say about it. But if I care about your opinion, I would prefer, I'm definitely that type of person that you say what you need to say, but put some sugar and some honey on it. My feelings will get hurt, but hidden love, no. I don't like people that pretend to be my friend, and that happens sometimes. Verse 6, wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. Speaking of, yeah, I think if we're friends, we could probably get past it, depending on what the infraction was, how long I've known you, and how many times it happened. You know what I mean? But sometimes enemies pretend to be friends. I wrote a whole poem about it. An enemy that pretends to be your friend is the worst, because you might not see it. You probably won't, because they're very intent on making sure you don't see their vengeance on you and their malice toward you. That's their intention, is that you don't see it. That's the worst thing about enemies that are friends. Steven says, it's kind of like banana bread is nice, but banana bread with icing is next level yummy. Yeah, and the icing was homemade too. It was pretty good. Commentary: who would prefer a friend's wounds to an enemy's kisses? Anyone who considers the source. A friend who has your best interests at heart may have to give you unpleasant advice at times, but you know it's for your own good. An enemy, by contrast, may whisper sweet words and happily send you on your way to ruin. We tend to hear what we want to hear, even if an enemy is the only one who will say it. A friend's words, no matter how painful, are much more valuable. That's true. Verse 9, perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. I'm very grateful when a friend offers me advice, and I know they care about me and they want the best for me, and I might not be at 100%. That's the best thing about having friends that care about you. I might not be at 100%. And me and my the way my ego works, I might think I'm at 150%. But a friend will see that and be like, move like this, do that. My favorite is when someone who is really like a really trusted friend, they're like, watch out for that person. I love that. I love that. Tell me who to watch out for. I have a friend who will just tell me, like, get away from that person. And by now, 30 years of this friendship, if she says that and she sees it around me, you're good. You're as good as gone, because she's right 100% of the time. She's always been right. Do not forsake your friend or a friend of your family, and do not go to your relative's house when disaster strikes you. Better a neighbor nearby than a relative far away. Be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart. Then I can answer anyone who treats me with contempt. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Take the garment of one who puts up security for a stranger. Hold it in pledge if it is done from an outsider. If anyone loudly blesses their neighbor early in the morning, it will be taken as a curse. I had somebody tell me I'm too loud in the morning. I have had somebody tell me, I've had a couple people tell me I'm too loud in the morning, like I'm too cheerful. Ain't nobody want to hear all the jokey jokes first thing in the morning. And that's rough. The last time that happened, it was like a workplace, and they were not for the cheerful good mornings. I would just go in my office, and I would just stay in there until lunchtime. Because one thing is, the last time, 5 years ago, I was around a group of people, and they didn't like all the cheerful joyness, all the jokey jokes. They didn't like any of that. And I remember at one point when I really realized it, like, y'all don't really mess with me like that. I realized it. And what I said to myself in my head was, I'll just keep my good days to myself. I'll just keep my good days to myself. And when I tell you, that was the worst. You know, when you have like major regrets in life, of my top 3 major regrets in my life, one of them was saying and following through with, quote unquote, keeping my good day to myself or my good mood to myself. Because what happened was, then I was all alone, and you're not like interacting with people. So I just dipped off into solitude. That's what happened. And I talk about that sometimes. That was such a dark period in my life because I was isolated, and it was all in like a Christian community. This is why I am the way I am now. I'm not sure how to recover from that. But anyway, Stephen says you should take that proverb on board and tone your morning greeting down. Well, you know what? Now I work from home because I get it. People don't want to hear the good mornings. And I'll tell you what else happened with that. I realized it is not a good thing for me to change myself for other people. So if I'm around like a group of people and I have to change to assimilate into the group of people, even if it is loud good mornings, that doesn't mean still be around. For me, I'm just saying, for me, that doesn't mean still be around the people and tone it down. What that means for me is to separate. Find another, because there's a whole group of people over here that do want to be cheerful in the morning. Amen. If y'all want to do that, you do that, and that's your culture and that's what you do. But I don't want to be a part of that, and I can't be a part of that, because what it means is me dimming myself down for you. That's for me. That's what I'm saying. And Stephen says, I don't think it means change, but rather use God's word to your advantage. You know what? I think somebody else, truly, and I don't mean to be argumentative, but how that played out for me just wasn't, you know what I mean? And so I will say, after that situation, I started working with children. You know who likes to be cheerful in the morning? Children. You know what I mean? And then after I with people with disabilities, he doesn't mind being cheerful in the morning. People with, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like there's a plenty of people who are very okay with having somebody smiling and being fun in the morning. That's all I'm saying. It's not good for me to associate with people who want me to dim down. It's not good for me. Waters down my witness, I might even say. Man, that was a terrible time in my life. Boop, 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 boop. Where were we? Verse 15. Oh, here we go again. This is like the third or fourth time, bro. Verse 15, a quarrelsome wife is like the dripping of a leaky roof in a rainstorm. Restraining her is like restraining the wind or grasping oil with the hand. Sheesh. Commentary. Some nagging and a steady stream of unwanted comments can feel like torture. People nag because they think others are not listening to or agreeing with them. But nagging hinders communication more than it helps. When tempted to engage in this destructive habit, stop and examine your motives. Are you more concerned about yourself, getting away, or being right than about the person you are alleging to help? If you are truly concerned about other people, think of a more effective way to get through to them. Surprise them with words of patience, love, and encouragement. Then see what happens. Stephen says, maybe they have a sack of bricks, though. I don't mind cheerful people, no matter the time of day. Yeah, I'll tell you the two circumstances. So one, I was living with a family, and they all were like depressed and anxious. And then culturally, there's a term WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. And with that comes a culture of restraint. My cousin calls it like a corporate culture in how you behave and how you act. You know what I mean? And so they didn't display emotion at all. You know what I mean? I remember one time I had gotten baptized I was a new believer. I got baptized at their church. and the mom had taken a video and posted it to a Slack at their old church and didn't even send me the video of me being baptized. And I was trying to explain to her, like, I didn't give you permission to do that. You know what I mean? At least you could have asked me. And so she was like, oh my gosh, you're angry. You're so angry. And it's like, I mean, you don't know me, but I'm not like a mad person at all. My default is probably like melancholy. I'm more like a sad person, if anything. And I was taken aback by the accusation that I was like angry and mad or like showing out when I just really wasn't. And so anyway, you take that to what joy might look like. And I'm a passionate person. I feel like so, like when I am mad, it looks like rage. Like, there's not like is Lakeitha mad? It's like, leave me all the way alone. I'm out of control. You know what I mean? When I'm happy, I'm elated. When I'm sad, I'm depressed. It's kind of like that. Like I feel things. So that was kind of their culture. Like my joy was just too much. And then the other one, I worked in addictions and I didn't get it. I probably should not have worked in addictions. I'm too, I mean, that's the truth. That is the truth. I'm probably too happy for an addiction center. I'm probably not the one. I wasn't the one. Because I'm like, good morning. People, these ladies were not trying to hear none of that. So to your point, Stephen says, a nagging wife is torture. This is my proverb, straight to the point and not a parable. Do not tell your wife that. Don't show her that parable, Stephen. Verse 17. Oh, such a good one. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Let's look at the commentary. Mental sharpness comes from being around people who will sharpen us. A meeting of minds can help people see their ideas with new clarity, refine those ideas, and shape them into brilliant insights. This requires discussion partners who can challenge one another and stimulate thought. People who can focus on an idea without involving their egos in the discussion. People who know how to attack the thought and not the thinker. Two friends who challenge each other can help each other become sharper. And that's kind of my point, right? Like, that's kind of my point. Is like, if you're around somebody that's real like ho hum, someone like me, it's like, there's only so much. As long as I can be myself, if you start, how would you say, like looking down on me because I'm joyful and you're not, I have a friend, my friend, Afton is pretty like stoic. Ben, if he's on here, Ben is also stoic. Ben and I get along great. I love Ben. I might even like tone it down. I think I tone it down a little bit around Ben. But like, like two people with different personalities can be friends. The point is you want to uplift each other in some way, some form, some fashion. And in the context of this proverb, point one another to Christ, right? Like that's the whole jam. Lord Poppy's here. I look for my little bell to ring, but it's elsewhere. Lord Poppy says, I nag. If I don't nag, it won't get done. I hear that. Stephen says, iron sharpening iron. This is a good one. I like this. And my friend use this with me all the time. Yeah. In my life, in 2025, I think I told you guys, it was like a new day. I got rid of so many people from 2024 because I realized I personally wasn't being sharpened by many in my life. And 2025, I focused more on connection. And then my three things for Pursue the Smile. If we don't do one of these three things, at least one of these three things together, you really can't be in my life on a regular basis. It's just not going down like that. And that is, we're doing something Jesus related, something physical health related, or we're learning something together. We're having a learning experience. If we're not doing one of those three things, personally, I don't see what we have to talk about on a personal, like, let's be friends level. I can help you with what you've got going on, but as far as like developing a relationship, I don't want any relationships outside of pursuing the smile. And that's straight like that. I don't see the point. I'm trying to be a particular type of person. The Lord has called me to be a particular type of person, you know. Verse 18, the one who guards a fig tree will eat its fruit, and whoever protects the master will be honored. Lord Poppy says, I'm not doing anything physical. You get a waddle to fridge to bed. We support all things Lord Poppy waddling around. We support you. You're our pregos having our secret heart baby. We love you, Lord Poppy. The commentary, a waddle. With all the problems and concerns a leader has, it can be easy to overlook the very people who most deserve attention. Faithful employees or volunteers, those who, so to speak, tend the fig trees. If you are in any kind of leadership position, the people who stand behind you, who work hard and help you get the job done, deserve to share in your success. Be sure that in all your planning, organizing, and working, you remember the people who are helping you the most. That is true. I think about that. I mean, y'all can listen to me speak and get an idea of like what goes on, like behind the scenes of my life and what my life kind of looks like, and God willing, where it's headed. And I'm very grateful for the people in business are called you guys in business is called early innovators, early adopters. I am but a small YouTube channel of 4,200 subscribers. There's literally, for the podcast purposes, there's one person watching right now and one like on this video. However, in the entirety of the Secret Heart Club, which is what this live stream is called, there's maybe like 5 or 6 people that pop in and out, and that'll grow. And even if it doesn't, there's like a little community that is bubbling. And then there is what is Pursue the Smile Ministries with branding and merchandise, a face, ThreePlusKei. The entire purpose of Pursue the Smile Ministries is to fund the James House, a long-term Christian group home for adolescent boys. And with the James House, there's meant to be one in every state. And I say this to say this, and I started this live stream talking about how I do Uber Eats and advising people to like shop at the food bank exclusively and ask your friends and family for clothing. And like, I do all these things. And I'm grateful for the people who see the vision. And I'm grateful for the early adopters who don't even know that they're the early adopters to a much larger vision, a much larger thing. At the end of the day, the Lord's name will be praised. The Lord's name will be uplifted with Pursue the Smile Ministries. And right now, there's just like a few people who see it. And I think that's amazing. And I don't ever want, I have names on a board in my kitchen of the people who are supportive now. I'm just grateful for it. I'm grateful for the thing. It's like, one day there will be James House, California, and James House, Illinois, and James House, New York. And like, I know that. But I'm grateful for the people who believe it now. Do you know what I mean? It was like when I was, I went to coffee with a lady, and I told you guys this story, and she told me she had $12 in her bank account, and she presented me with a check for $7 for the James House. I'll never cash that check. But I'm very grateful for, I have people like that in my life. And it's not like me, it's like they know God's about to do a thing. Lord Poppy says, let's get one in Pennsylvania and New Mexico. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Writing the names down now, baby. There's a YouTuber, I know this is off track, but there's some young man who's singing. I don't know if he's like 18, 19, 20. And he's like, I don't know what's going on with him. He's kind of like, anyway, he says everyone who comments on his videos now, he writes them down on a notebook and they'll get free concert tickets in the future. And I love that for him. I subscribe to him just to see his journey. I believe you. It's not my type of music. I actually don't like his songs at all. So it's not even about that. But I love it when people, like, when the Lord is doing a thing for you. When you are meant to be like a mom. Or when you are meant to be the mayor. And it's just like the Lord, it's not even the Lord is on you. The Lord is navigating everything you're doing, and you just need to be faithful. That's what I wanted to say. That's what I was trying to say at the beginning of this. I lost everybody. All the viewers went away because I was like, you got to have hope. And it's like, what the Lord has for you is what the Lord has for you. So much so you might not even see it. So definitely other people can't see it. Do you know what I mean? Definitely. Other people can't see it. But you got to like ask the Lord, figure out what he has for you. Like Poppy, our little secret heart girl, she might be the next booty boop of the bada bop. And we're just witnessing her greatness from inception. You know what I mean? Like it could really be like that. And people don't understand, like, you got to tap in with the Lord to see what the calling is on your life. Amen. All right. I digress. But verse 19, as water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. My point exactly. Death and destruction are never satisfied, and neither are human eyes. Verse 21, the crucible for silver. I don't know what the crucible is. Can somebody tell me what that is? Put the definition in the crucible for silver and the furnace for gold, but people are tested by their praise. Commentary. Praise tests a person just as high temperatures test metal. How does praise affect you? Love it. Do you work to get it? Do you work to get praise? I don't know if I work to get praise. When I'm on the food truck, I'm working to get your money. I'm very focused on getting your money and what I can do. What I can do to get your money. But praise, I don't know. Because people pray, I get not a lot of praise, but it's not uncommon for me. I work for it. I always say, like, I have to say it. I think the Lord gave me a good disposition. Do you know what I mean? And I think I've actually been accused of being like arrogant in this regard. And it's not true, because I didn't make my personality. Do you know what I mean? I didn't make my personality a disposition, but the Lord made me like agreeable and kind of like easy to smile. You know what I mean? And then I'm gentle. Even though I'm like loud and raucous, like my heart, it truly, probably too much so, is just very gentle. And I think I get praised for the way I interact with people. But it's hard to like accept it personally, because I really feel like this is the way the Lord made me. Like I don't calculate how to be likable. I just am. And that people don't like when you say that. It's like, praise the Lord for the way he made me. I like me. I like me too. God likes me. I like me too. Stephen, whoops. Lord Poppy says, situation of severe trial or in which different elements interact, leading to the creation of something new. And crucible is a miniature furnace that melts gold or silver for jewelry, or gold or bars. What you don't know. What you don't know. Anyway, praise tests a person just as high temperatures test metal. How does praise affect you? Do you work to get it? Do you work harder after you've gotten it? Probably. If I'm doing something right, baby, tell me. I'll do it twice. You feel me? Your attitude toward praise tells a lot about your character. People of high integrity are not swayed by praise. They are attuned to their inner convictions, and they do what they should, whether or not they are praised for it. I see. Verse 22, though you grind a fool in a what? What? Though you grind a fool in a mortar, grinding them like grain with a pestle, you will not remove their folly from them. Verse 23. Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds. For riches do not endure forever, and a crown is not secure for all generations. When the hay is removed and a new growth appears, and the grass from the hills is gathered in, the lambs will provide you with clothing, and the goats with the price of a field. You will have plenty of goat's milk to feed your family and to nourish your female servants. The commentary, because life is short and our future is uncertain, we should be all the more diligent in what we do with our lives. That's my whole point. We should act with foresight as we attend to our homes, families, and careers. Be a responsible steward like a farmer with his or her lands and herds. For God's people, thinking ahead is a duty, not an option. I was watching a debate today, wasting time. I was watching first I watched 20 middle class people, it was 20 people versus a billionaire, which was very, very interesting. It was just a lot of like, give me money and you probably don't do anything with your money. And then they were just very upset that he spends his like extra money on legislating new laws that benefit poor people. And they wanted more like billionaires should just be handing out money on the streets. And that's just foolish at the end of the day. But the second one I watched were like 5 middle-class people or 3 middle-class people versus 3 millionaires. And it was really an issue of mindset. Like they were essentially saying the same thing, but they had different mindsets. And so a biblical, well, one thing that one of the questions was the American dream, is the American dream dead? And one of the middle class people were saying the American dream as the white picket fence and the 2.5 kids and the dog and the 30-year job with the pension, that American dream is dead as it is. But the new American dream is to have a job that you love so much that you never retire. And I think that that is very accurate. And in that regard, if you're going to have a job that you love so much that you don't even want to retire from it, biblically, there's a way. This is why Proverbs, this is why the word is just good for informing how to carry out your life, right? Because one thing we know is that the Lord gives us gifts and talents. And the purpose of these gifts and talents that we have, first of all, we are instructed to cultivate them. Second of all, once we've cultivated them and we've made them into like a thing and we're flourishing in these gifts and talents, we're meant to share them. We're meant to serve others with them. That's what the sharing means, serve others with them. And from a business aspect, the people then may pay for these gifts and talents, which then what generates wealth for us. And then we create things without creating interest, without attaching interest to it. We don't want to do that. We want to serve with our gift. We want to cultivate our gifts and talents, serve people with them to the extent that they now want to pay us for them. And then with that money, we build more to serve more people with. Like the Bible gives us the blueprint for that. You know, Lord Poppy says, I'm sorry, I don't care how much I love my job, I will not work forever. Well, yeah, and you're free to do that. But the idea is just that you could if you wanted to, you know. And I think about that. I like live streaming. Somebody, either Lord Poppy or Allison, asked me yesterday, January 28th being the finale, what does that mean? Is like the live streaming over? And I really thought about that. And I was like, no, I actually prefer live streaming to long form content, because if I do with long form, I do what's called one shots. I don't edit. So if I make a mistake, that is staying in there. I don't have the time to learn how to edit, and I don't have the money to pay somebody to edit. So one shots is my format. That's what I'll be known for with long form, and I'm fine with that. If I sneeze or sniffle or whatever, it is what it is. I'm cool with that. But live streaming is more authentic in the way that if I make a mistake, if I sneeze or I can just say, excuse me, and keep it going. I also love live stream for the fact of the community that's being built. And in my mind, I'm not working on expanding the Secret Heart Club, but at some point it's my intention. It's my intention to expand the Secret Heart Club, whatever that might mean. You know what I mean? So live streaming. And again, I have a good personality for it, and it's just cultivating what the Lord gave me to build community for kind of, I think it was Stephen, or it was baptized by fire. I forgot, he called himself like an odd duck in the church or something like that. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Like that totally sums up like how I envision the Secret Heart Club to be. Like if we ever had a conference or a workshop or something, it would just be like all the misfits in church, like me screaming at the top of my lungs, good morning. You know what I mean? Or like maybe this person's like super awkward and just like, like whatever your like nutty self is, you're for sure welcome in this space. And like telling people that they can't be their like weird self, that you got to step out the door with that. Like let people be them as long as they're not like hurting anybody. You know what I mean? Lord Poppy says, I'm thankful that when my friend pays off his house and he dies, I get the house. Then I get 2 houses. Yeah, then you can be a landlord. Could do that. I'm with it. All right, this was good. It's 8:51, guys. We gotta get up out of this place. Tomorrow's Monday. I'm working on the food truck 3 days this week. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday will be back out in Hamilton. It's actually the Celtic Fest, I think. Or no. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but 3 days this week. It's food trucking in Jesus. One of those days is another concert, so that's going to be crazy again. Another day is Cares Park, and then the third day, I don't know what we're doing, but just expect a very, very good time. So yeah, that's what I got. All right, I'm 3+Kei. I'm just an honest Christian here to encourage you to pursue the smile by prioritizing the Lord, your physical health, and persistent education. Go out there and love somebody tomorrow. Oh, you know what? I'm going to back that up. I'm sorry for saying it like that. Go out there and love somebody tomorrow. I'll talk to you later.